Hey, it's Volley. I just wanted to say something about magic and what witchcraft actually is. A lot of people have this misconception that they can't do magic, that it's like, I don't know, that it's like either evil or like that they're just not physically capable. I mean, I've had people like ask me to do stuff for them, like spells and like unhexings and things like that. Specifically, mostly unhexings. I notice people don't feel like they could purge themselves of that bullshit, but my message is that anyone can do that shit. Magic is not special. Magic is not a thing that you are born with the capability of doing like one person is and one person isn't. Like everyone is born with that shit. The difference is that certain people are either A, more drawn to it, B, have a natural inclination, C, raised up in it. You know what I mean? For me, my mom always had these dreams, and she always had this I definitely believe that I get a lot of my natural inclinations from her. To this day, she has dreams and visions of what's going to happen before it happens and it comes true. So those are the kind of things that lead you to magic. But the truth of it is everyone has it within them. And you see a lot of people, I've met people that did magic without even fully acknowledging that that's what they were doing. Because it doesn't really matter. You could call it whatever you want. You know what I mean? Prayer is magic. When you see people praying in groups and they really believe that God's going to blah, 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 right? That's magic. Doesn't matter what the bullshit is. Now, is that magic really potent? Sometimes. I think that the most potent magic is when you believe in yourself and your higher self, that y'all can do it together. That's the best, because when you're believing in something else to do your shit for you, it comes into factor that you kind of leave it up to chance a little bit, because it's not your will. It's the will of the gods, which means that if they will something different than you, oh, well, that was how it was supposed to be. And that's bullshit. That's just a trick. And that's all this really is. That's all witchcraft ever was, is figuring out how to trick your body and your mind to do what you want it to do. Like certain things, like, for instance, in witchcraft, a lot of people know about herbs that heal your body. That's not tricking. Obviously, like if I drink some oat straw, it has a shit ton of magnesium in it, I'm going to get more happy. My body's going to be more balanced, and I'm going to be emotionally more stable. That's not witchcraft. That's just science. That's just being in tune with the world that you live in and utilizing the plants and not just feeding into the bullshit of the pharmaceutical companies. No, witchcraft is the shit that you shouldn't be able to do. Like feeling people's emotions. Everyone has that capability. Everyone. We're all psychic beings because we all are light energy beings. We are not, these bodies are just, a meat suit or whatever you want to call it. We are truly the energy that flows through us. So if somebody is next to me and their energy is resonating really loud, like let's say somebody's really upset, I could feel that shit. And the only reason I could feel that shit, maybe you couldn't feel that shit, is because I'm paying attention. That's the only difference. You could feel that shit. You notice that shit. You notice when you get high on certain psychedelics, you'll notice that shit. It's why we have so many people waking up right now. It's just because there's been more and more psychedelics in our community. We just all are being like, wait, we can't see that shit. It's that awareness. Yeah, so magic is just belief. Magic is the belief that you can cause something to happen. Now, you might think to yourself, okay, but I can't just believe something. Like, how do you just believe in something? Belief is a mixture of things. Belief is easy when you believe someone else could do it for you. That's why you see a lot of people in normal religions. That's how they do it. But that's why we have spells and rituals. That's the way that we cause ourselves to believe. So, for instance, if I want to do a spell to make more money, right? an easy spell to make more money is to get a green candle. It represents what green is to you. Is that going to work in a country where all their money is purple? No, they would use a purple candle. That's what this is. So we use green because we think of green money, right? Also, green represents growth. So that also works for me too. I'm like, okay, trees are growing, plants are growing. That's vitality. Okay, I'm accessing my subconscious. My subconscious mind is like, all right, we got a green candle. We're lighting it. We believe in this color, right? Then we have a bowl of change. And now let's say the spell calls for pennies, but I really don't believe in pennies. Let's say for me personally, I'm like, pennies are kind of bullshit. Like, I would throw a penny away and not care. If I put quarters in that bowl, if I have a bowl full of quarters, that's going to be potent for me. And it's a reminder. It's like, okay, these quarters are going to turn into dollars. These dollars are going to turn into tens. You know what I mean? Causing yourself, your subconscious, your true self to really believe in what you're doing. Then it comes to the words. The words are so important. And the visualization. This is where the magic really happens. You have your totems, you have your things. Let's say you cast a circle to start all this. That's another thing that's making your subconscious, we're really in this holy place. We're really doing this thing, right? Then you have this whole space and you say your words. You say, money, I call out to thee, come forth and let it be. Let's say that that's your spell. It's real easy. And you're just repeating that over and over again. And as you're repeating it, you're closing your eyes and you're thinking of your bowl and your green candle. And you're like, okay, now what would it be like for me to have more money? And this is the trick. This is where most people fail. This is the problem, is that people don't realize that this is the most important. You got to imagine. You got to picture. Anybody who has an imagination got this shit down. You just picture, what would I do with that money? Picture as long as you can, because the more that you picture, the more you're bringing into your reality. Okay, if I had this money, I would invest in repairing my vehicle because I live in my vehicle. It's important to me. Now, what would that look like? I would go to this place to get it done. I would get this and this done. I would, do this and that, this and that. And I'm picturing all this and I'm like, okay, and that would make my vehicle fully sustained. Like, it's good now. Now, if I had more money, what would I do with it? Okay, I would invest right here, would do this. Make it a game. Like, imagining what your life could be during the spell. It's so important. That is the spell. And when you really feel like, okay, like I fully imagine this shit, like it's already here, you'll notice you'll have this feeling of like zen, and like you'll be in this alpha state. And then you could close out. You could be like, thank you. Another thing that's important, I believe, with spell casting, witchcraft, is thanking yourself, having that appreciation. Because in life, acceptance of this state that you're in, acceptance and loving the moment that you're in is everything. It's everything. There's no point to life. No point. If you get what you want, you don't appreciate it. Who fucking cares? What's the point? You got all this money from your spell. Who fucking cares? You're not enjoying your life. So thank yourself. Thank yourself for the time you got to spend with yourself. Thank yourself for being able to visualize that. Who knows? Maybe during the spell you actually realized some shit that you didn't even think of because you were visualizing them. You're helping yourself. And that's really what magic is. That's magic, is visualization. It's tricking your subconscious. It's getting yourself to believe, to really will it into existence, because you can. Everyone can. You have the capability. That is all I was going to say.